public input. We have declined a request from the Palestine Solidarity Network Aotearoa Understanding Order 774D and E. The governing body does not have responsibility for Palestine. That's a reasonably good one. Okay. Local board input. There's none received yet.
Point of order, Mr.
What's
Mayor.
the point of order?
Could you please explain why you have rejected the request for the Palestine Network, Solidarity Network Aotearoa to speak today? People from all sorts of organisations have addressed this governing body, as they are entitled to. Why have you rejected their request? Because you're required to explain exactly why under standing orders.
7.4D and 7.73C, as the governing body does not have responsibility for Palestine.
Why is this governing body not the appropriate body to hear this address from these people who have been meeting every week for the past year down at the Queen Elizabeth Square, Te Komiti, thousands of people, thousands of concerned Aucklanders, and they come to the governing body and they're not allowed to speak. You have to explain why, given that Environment Canterbury, the Christchurch City Council and the Wellington City Council have heard and supported similar inputs from this organisation. Can you explain why you won't hear them? You won't allow us to hear these people?
Okay, I've made my decision. I just told you what it was. We don't have any responsibility. If the people from Canterbury want to listen to that, that's welcome. They can go down to Canterbury. That's it.
Point
made
of
my
order.
decision. Not hearing it.
Point of order, Mr. Bear.
It's a point of order.
I'll say what the point of order is if you let me do it. Under 3.6.4 on a chairperson's ruling, if any member disagrees with a chairperson's ruling, the member is entitled to set out the reasons for disagreeing. So I'd like to take my opportunity to do that as per standing orders.
Fair enough.
Your ruling actually, Mr. Mayor, runs somewhat contrary to information that was forwarded to a number of councillors earlier in the week in terms of, in this case, it was a request from the Palestinian organisation to consider the proposal to fly a flag in line with the United Nations International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people, which is recognised around the world and is recognised in other New Zealand cities. Now, during that correspondence, we were told that that any such decision on whether flags are flown in instances like that can be made by the governing body, and I'll quote the exact point in this that refers to decisions such as this should be made by members of the governing body. Well, obviously, Mr. Mayor, if people aren't permitted to present to the governing body during public input, it's a little bit hard for a governing body to make an informed decision in those circumstances. I would have thought that the very presence of over 20,000 people, which I believe was a record in a march a couple of months ago, in support of Palestinian solidarity in this very city, was reason enough for a presentation to be made in public input today. As I understand it, the presentation is dictated or centred around this very issue of celebrating or honouring the United Nations, which New Zealand, of course, is a signatory to, as indeed are a number of the resolutions New Zealand has voted with in respect of this matter. So I would ask then, Mr. Mayor, if the governing body is the entity that is charged with the responsibility of making a decision in a circumstance like this, and this is coming up, it's on the 29th of November, then I think it's entirely appropriate that the group that has made the request is able to talk to the governing body, because our very own officers have said that decision lies with us. So I'd urge you to reconsider that decision then, Mr Mayor, in light of those communications from senior management within our own council.
I could refer this to the Community Committee, which is in line with the terms of reference and the committee's remit, so that it can be presented there. Okay?
So, point of order, sorry to prolong this, but as the chair of the Community Committee, I'm fine with that, but I would note that the decision around the flag issue does sit with GB, it doesn't sit with the Community Committee, so we will need to consider that. If you're happy to delegate that decision to the Community Committee, I'm very happy to accept that delegation. The other aspect is that my understanding is that one of the reasons that they wanted to speak to us was actually around procurement and investment, not just the flag. So that is a matter for the council, so I just wanted to put those concerns on record. Thank you.
Fair enough, but the flag issue wasn't raised in their submission, so it's just it's newly raised. So if there's a flag issue, it can come up in the future, but at the moment there's no flag issue. So thank you for that. Refer it to the Community Committee, and which is why we've got that. Okay, thank you very much for that.